The regular season wraps up. A rare exhibition here today. The Browns are the 5. They will either play the Jags or they will play the Texans. Colts are out. So that's where we're at. Jeff Driscoll era starts today. And then later on, over at Rocket Mortgage, they have a little basketball going with the Spurs and the Cavs. That game actually might have more juice than this. Did we win, Lance? We've already won. The Browns are already winners. There is no did we win. Good morning. Happy playoffs.
Happy
Go
playoffs.
Browns, go Cavs. Tony, this is a rare, lukewarm at best intensity for a Bengals-Browns game in regular season. No juice in this game whatsoever.
No, this is the first time in my entire lifetime that the Browns have a game where they've already clinched and they're just playing for nothing. It's a new feeling for me and not a familiar feeling for anyone, no matter how old you are.
Very, very odd. There's going to be today no Flacco, no Garrett. Let me get the whole list here. No Cooper, no Ford, no Hopkins, Newsom, or Thornhill. A lot of players resting and probably more to come, even for game time. So to me today, this big game is about Driscoll. Sure. Why? He's going to be the backup or not. If he plays well, if he looks confident, I think he will replace P.J. Walker. That's the one thing to watch for in this game. Tony, I'm being truthful as a fan. I don't see much else. You just don't want to get players hurt. You hope the Browns win, sure, but it's a preseason game.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of crazy at this point in the year where we've ended up relying on so many of those guys that we were counting on in the preseason. So it's nice to see some of these guys that are still going to play, but at the end of the day, most of the big contributors aren't going to be out there. And if they are out there, I'm sure it'll be for a quarter, a half. They'll be on some sort of snap count.
Maflinger, I agree with you. I'm not going to be mad today either. Yes. Now let's talk about to the bigger point. Let's go forward. I don't want any part of C.J. Stroud either. That was a good win last night for the Texans. Felt bad for the Colts. 4th-and-1 drop. Terrible way to go in your season. I am rooting hard today for Jacksonville. I don't want any part of Houston.
Yeah, I agree with that. We handled them well, but we didn't really see them when they're out without their 2 best players. It's hard to get a feel for how we actually played them. Jacksonville no one's going to be a cakewalk. It's the playoffs. That's the point of it. But Jacksonville, Lawrence is beat up. We handled them pretty well last time. So I'm obviously a little more worried with the Texans, but I think either way, we're good against the AFC South.
I agree. Lance, you're right. Playing players when does not equal getting hurt. I do agree with you about that. But the Browns have multiple players who are not healthy. That's the thing. It isn't like the Browns are just resting players because they have earned this right. The Browns are a very banged-up team, Lance. So I agree with you. And in a different season, I might feel very differently. Not this year. Browns need some rest. Mm-hmm. They really need some time to recover in this game. To Tony's point, I feel confident about either. I would put my feet up a little bit with the Jacksonville Jaguars. They are really struggled at the end of the season. Pittsburgh sucks. Stroud wouldn't have changed the game when we played them. Our offense went too crazy. I politely don't agree with you. Stroud's a much better quarterback than Case Keenum. Pittsburgh sucks. Jags are the easiest test. Sass, I agree with you too. I just don't fear Jacksonville. I know Lawrence and Peterson, who's a Super Bowl winning coach, could bring trouble, but just don't see it. Tony, is there anything else today in the playoff picture? I would love to see the Steelers get knocked out, to be honest. I don't fear Buffalo, so I will be cheering today for Buffalo.
Yeah. So the part of me doesn't want the Steelers to be in because just we don't like the Steelers, right? That's the obvious part. But from like a Browns trying to make a deep run side of view, we actually really don't want the Steelers in because we need both of those AFC East teams to get in it because both of those teams are actual threats to win games. If the Bills lose today and they're knocked out completely and the Steelers are in the playoffs over the Bills, Steelers aren't beating anybody in the playoffs. The Bills could beat somebody, and if the Bills are the 6th seed or the Dolphins are the 6th seed and they knock somebody out, well, then we don't play the Ravens until the championship. So really hoping the Steelers can get knocked out more so we have some better playoff teams behind us, and also because nobody wants to see the Steelers in the playoffs.
Steelers making the playoffs would be dreadful. What's the optimal playoff run? Keller, I'm actually starting to come on this vibe, but I will have a better vibe after the game. I think the Browns' true test actually will be that first game. I think the Browns playing a playoff game on the road is never easy. And they won in Pittsburgh. This is a much different challenge because COVID was there. I think that first round game's challenge. My gut tells me they get by that first round game, so I think they're going to be a favorite. After that, the underdog role will actually really play well to this club. That's my gut feeling. I think that first round game is going to be trickier than what we think. That's my thoughts. Tony?
Yeah, I agree. We haven't been a team. I mean, the road thing was more about the West Coast than it was anything, but
Right.
we are a better team at home, like most people are. So it'll be good to go to like a not insanely hostile environment like Jacksonville or Houston to kind of get your feet wet, get used to playing on the road in a
Yeah.
playoff environment. But then hopefully we can have somebody behind us get a win, so we could see Jacksonville and then Miami and then not Baltimore until the championship game. And then at that point, we'll see. Baltimore is really the only team that truthfully scares me a ton.
There you go. I can hear you that. The one thing too with home crowds, Jacksonville's home crowd is a flat line. Houston's got some
Yeah.
juice. I would, if you want a home crowd thing, you definitely go back. Thank you, Keller. By the way, Tony got a shout out about his great looks. All three wildcard teams have to win for the Browns to get a home game. That's right, which is very possible if the Buffalo Bills were to win. Your three teams would be obviously the Browns, the Texans, and then the middle would be the Dolphins. All three of those teams can win on the road, in my opinion. Not going to be easy. I was really impressed by Stroud, though. I just think Stroud's Texans are going to be good for a long time. The first round game is the key. I agree with you, Jason. Great to see you. Happy New Year. I just get the feeling that first round game, no matter who they play, is going to be a mental adjustment. I am more confident. I agree, Tony. It's not about the road to me. It's just about being in the playoffs. It really is. Thank God for Flacco. Flacco really helps you there in that situation. Tony, today I'm going to flip quickly because Wembyama's in town. Cavs looking up again against another crappy team. Hopefully they can take out the garbage again today against the Spurs. But Wemby's in town. To be truthful, I might be watching more of the Cavs today than the Browns, if I'm being truthful.
Yeah, probably. Me too. That's going to be an exciting game just because Wembanyama is such a unique talent, something we have not seen before. So hopefully they can contain him, but he can be a little exciting, more exciting than the Wizards gave us. They didn't give us anything.
Wizards are awful.
Yeah.
Awful, awful club. Someone said after the game, Wizards are worse than the Pistons. I might be true. Wizards are a bad team. Lance, I wish you good luck today with the Saints. You're right about the week-to-week thing. Tony, I don't have much else today. I want to see Jacksonville win, so I wanted the Browns play in Jacksonville, and I'm hoping for the Browns not to have any serious injuries.
Yeah.
That's all I got today. I do think the Bengals are going to win, only because I don't see the Browns putting their foot on the gas in this game.
Yeah, I'm going to hope that the Browns can get the win solely so the Bengals go 0-6 in the AFC North. I think that would be a funny outcome for them this year. So that's the only cheering interest for me for the Browns game, but wouldn't be too surprised if they don't get it done.
Todd Hall is putting his hands over. Saw Wizards in person high school team, Adam Jacobs. You want to talk about a team that's checked out. That team is checked out. We look alike. 27, he must be a handsome man. Handsome man. Be here at halftime. Be here after the game for Cavs and for Browns. Go Browns.
Go Browns.
Playoff coverage all throughout the week on BelieveInTheLand.com.